I bet you guys would love to get rid of me, but you can't. Nah, I'm just kidding. But for real, I have a video for you guys that I think is actually going to be pretty fun to make and for you guys to watch. How to build a team. I've been putting off making this video because it's kind of tough, because it's not everyone comes from the same starting point. So I have every card in the game pretty much, and if I need a card, I can go get it. It's part of my job, man. So I can't act like everybody has that luxury, but I could talk about things that goes into how I construct my lineup, what cards I look for, you know, just in general, like what I like about cards, what I don't. And, you know, with the recent discovery of the information about hitting that was kind of buried in the strategy guide that we had just covered in the video, it changes the way I view things now, for sure, depending on what difficulty I'm playing on. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, I'll link it in the description. Jay will put it up on the screen, the thumbnail of the video. It is basically what you might not have known about hitting, because I didn't know it, even though it's right in front of our face. It's in the game. It's in the description of the strategy guide. It goes against a little bit of what they've said in gameplay streams, and I don't know how valid it is, but seems to kind of clear up a lot of issues we have with hitting in terms of what we know to be true and what we know not to be true. But enough talking, man. Enough about that. Let's build a team. First and foremost, Randy Johnson. Build a team, Randy. Now, I guess I can go through my inventory and kind of explain why I use who I use. Starting pitching is a little bit weird because it's obviously there's guys that are meta, and then there are guys that from within that meta group you are more comfortable with, and that's who you should use. And then on top of all that, I like to use newer cards just for fun. If they're passable and ranked, I like to use them just because it's fun for me that way to stay engaged, not use the same pitchers every game. It kind of bores me. I also don't really play God Squad ranked. It's mostly for videos, so I'll try and build a God Squad team, though, for you guys. Next up, I think for most difficulties, I'm going to say Nolan Ryan will do the best for you as a 3-starter. Psych, who's number 2 in the game? My beautifully unbiased opinion, Roy Halladay. I still think the hits per 9, I know the K per 9's low, a lot of foul balls, but 5-pitch mix, I love his control. I like his hits per 9. For me, he's done so very well. He's just been super elite. I can show you my stats with him real quick. The whip is super impressive. The strikeouts aren't there, but he does the thing. He eats innings. I love the card, so I got him 2. I think he's still one of the best. Maybe not in Hall of Fame, but
real quick. He's building this based on legend meta. If you are playing mostly on All-Star, you should be picking similarly built pitchers, but prioritize those who have high hits per 9 and outlier as opposed to sinker cutter. All right, let's get back to Chev now.
Nolan Ryan in the 3 spot. He's got the hits per 9. He's got the stamina. He's got the K per 9. The pitching clutch is there. Velocity break, outlier on the fastball. Yeah, but he was hurt big time this year. And let me explain why. Outlier is no longer 102 every time on the fastball. It varies. That's a big problem. Pinpoint is now less easy to get a perfect on. It's not as easy to get perfect as it was last year. That's a net negative for Nolan Ryan. He's got control issues as it is. On top of that, sinkers got nerfed. You can no longer throw them up in the zone. And on top of all that, changeups and curveballs have an additional penalty this year if you try and aim them up in the zone. The par expands. They're less accurate. All that combined, those 3 things kind of hurt Nolan Ryan big time. If he had a slider, he'd be definitively the second best pitcher in the game. And he probably could get a slider. He's thrown it in his career. They could give it to him. But I don't think he needs one to be used. He isn't my favorite personally because he lets up a lot of tanks. A lot of outlier guys do who rely on 4-seam fastballs because he's going to miss spots. And the fastball's going to kind of drift on the middle of the plate. But he's in the 3 spot. Now, this is where it gets a little dicey. There's a bunch of meta guys you could pick from for these last 2 spots. For me, I like Daniel Espino right now. Stamina's good. 111 hits per 9, 121 K per 9. He's got the good control, great velocity break, outlier on the fastball, but that 64 BB per 9. The pars are pretty big on his pitches, but his pitches are nice with the control and with the break as well. I do enjoy the card. 5 pitches. A fast slider, which I think is almost a mandatory thing for a pitcher. Slow sliders really aren't very good. So I'm going to put Espino here just because he's got everything you need, man. He's very solid. A better Nolan Ryan, in my opinion. A little bit less control on the BB per 9, but he's got a higher control rating overall, and he's got 5 pitches, which I like. The last spot here, it's tough. Obviously, Corbin Burns, a lot of people rock with him. I've used him in events. Those numbers aren't accurate. I think he's just too readable at this point. He's been used so many times. People get used to him, and his controls and his breaks aren't that ideal. And the windup's kind of readable because he throws from the stretch, but he's definitely a very solid 5 option. Like, for sure. Bob Feller's up there as a 5 pitcher if you really like pitching with him. 5 pitches, outlier. His control is brutal, but still very much usable. I like Luis Castillo. Sandy's better than Castillo. I think he's better than Castillo. Not as good as Bob Feller or Corbin Burns. The K per nine's really low. Lots of foul balls, but very good pitch mix. Good hits per 9. A little readable, but you can still work with him. I don't like Moose at this point. Aaron Ashby's a sleeper. Outlier, sinker, lefty. Very solid. Should be better for me than he has been. He just is very readable. I don't know why, and I couldn't put my finger on it, but then I faced him in BR. Granted, it was his live series card, but the same windup, very readable. I don't know why. It just is. Yuri Perez, to me, not very good. No, he's not the next Edward Cabrera. Lacks a 5th pitch. His slurve is very slow. No bueno. Bobby Miller, love this card. Think he's so solid. All in ranked 21-3, 2.72 ERA, .88 whip, 110 Ks in 76 innings. He just has it. The controls aren't... His 83 BB per 9, 86 control. Not bad at parallel 5. Breaks are okay. They're actually really solid. 95, 97, 92, 88. Yeah. Lowest pitch break is 82 on the curveball. I think he's so solid. He does so well for me. For me, you know, if I have to be totally honest here, man, I think I'm going to probably put Bobby Miller in the 5 spot. I really do think he's top 5. I think he's better than Corbin, even with the hits per 9, better than Sandy, better than Luis, better than Bob Feller. Alek Manoah needs more pitches, needs more pitches. The slider's too slow. That's an issue. But I'm going to go with, if I'm building a team here, I'm going to go with Bobby Miller. I think he edges him out. This is who I would take. This is my starting 5 right now in my rotation. Guys who go in and out. Man, I got swap guys in and out, but actually Bobby Miller's not in my rotation right now because I just move guys in and out when I use the guys for debuts. Bullpen, it's pretty simple, guys. This should be give or take a guy or two, but essentially the same bullpen. Raleigh got to be in there. Houston Street, they made him throw a lot slower than his other card, but his hits and K-per are there. I still don't have him in the pen. I think you need Soto. You need... I'm going to move the lefties over here. Oh, it's laggy right now. Oh, my God. I'm going to move Soto over here. You need the lefties. Soto, let's go get the lefties sorted out. Josh Hader, obviously. I still think face of the franchise, Aroldis Chapman is the top reliever in the game. Now back to the righties. I do not like this Goose card. He is no outlier fastball, and he's punished by that awful control. And, yeah. He's hurt big time, this card. He's just not that good. I don't like him. I don't like him at all. I don't think he's that good. I really like this Chad Green card. Definitely add him to your bullpen. He's got everything you need. 5 pitches, right? You don't really need me to break down the bullpen, guys. You guys have an idea of why they work. Really, if it comes down to it, I could explain it, but I don't like Britton. Needs more pitches. Good hits per 9. Outlier sinker. Just needs more pitches. As far as the rest of the pen goes, this might be where I differ a little bit, but... I think, well, actually not really with Devin Williams. I still think Devin Williams is one of the best relievers in the game. I mean, 2.69 ERA, .81 whip. He's almost parallel 5 for me. Elite. Now, my last guy in the bullpen that I have right now, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know who it is in my pen right now, but I think I have Joan Duran, parallel 5. I think he's still one of the best, even though his hits per 9 isn't that high. K per 9's decent. His outlier 1 and 2 on the 4-seam fastball on the splitter. That is very solid. Very hard to read. Great stamina. I like this card a lot. I think he's super good. This is the bullpen that I rock with right now. You guys can see it. This is who I think is elite. If you want me to break it down more, I can respond to your comments, but it's pretty, straightforward. They all have something redeemable about them that you guys can check. Either outliers, sinkers, 5-pitch mixes, or really solid velocity to hits per 9 combo. So that's it. Now to hitting. First base, there's a ton of great options to use. Overall, use Frank if you got Frank. I still think he's the GOAT at first base, but better option, Babe Ruth. To me, if you want a good lineup. Actually, no. Frank. If you don't have Frank, if you're a no money spent guy, whatever, Big Papi, lefty Frank Thomas. I've had that comparison said to me, which I always find that funny. Like he's the lefty version of this guy, whatever. But he's good enough. David Ortiz very solid, but Frank. Babe in right, he's good enough to play right field, and he gets you that offense in there. Great offensive card, plus 62 speed, 72 reaction. He's got a hose. This is the best lineup, right? This is what I'm looking for here. You're not sacrificing too much defense because he's still got an arm on him, and you get that bat in there. Second base, to me, pretty simple. If you got Jackie, put Jackie there. If you don't, put Craig. And if you want to get crazy and get super no money spent, Matt Carpenter's decent. Dansby. I like Soriano too, but Jackie's the best. Shortstop. Right now, it's creative player for me. I don't really think it's close, to be honest, at all. But if you want to get really specific, Ketel Marte, right? That's in place of the cap. That's it. Next up, third base, George Brett. If you got him, put him there. If you don't, Austin Riley. Maybe even Rafi Devers. If you play an all-star, J-Ram is elite too. There's a lot of options here, man. Third base is absolutely loaded. But, I don't have to explain much. Ketel Marte's got everything you need. Great contacts, solid power, great defense at all positions, decent speed, man. He's got it. Behind the dish. I think the best option in the game right now is still Joe Mauer. That's my opinion. But overall, for everybody, easiest to get, Mike Napoli. If you don't have him, Craig Bish, super. If you're looking for someone for a little more defense, a little more speed, and got the contacts, a little less power, but overall just a more well-rounded card, Craig Biggio.
If you're really good with Dansby Swanson for whatever reason, and you want him at shortstop, then you can put your creative player at catcher over Napoli or Biggio.
That's the guy. I like Joe Mauer a lot. Not ideal at the moment for what you're rocking with. If you know you're not collecting, if you don't love Joe Mauer's swing, Mike Napoli is free. Center field, I mean, come on, it's Kutch. If you don't got Kutch, look for somebody who's got great reaction, good speed, good fielding. Most important things to me. Bunch of great options. If you got J-Rod, he's a little expensive. If you don't, you can get Brian Reynolds for free. I think he's a great option. Cedric Mullins isn't too expensive, but you know, there's a couple other cards too. Sorry, Clemente, but McCutcheon, obviously, guys. That doesn't take much genius to see. Now, this is where it gets a little dicey. Left field is a ton of options. Offensive position for sure. Soriano, great 5-tool player. He covers. If you can hit with that PCI in his swing, I recommend using the PCI anchor inside to turn on those pitches. Elite defender. I just got him parallel 5, stopped using him, but I have 403 with this guy. Freak. But to me, right now, what we got, I got to go Austin Riley in left field. Makes the best use of offense and defense and well-rounded speed. He does a great card. Got to have him in left field. That's, to me, the best option right now. As far as bench goes, what you want in a bench, just say 3 left. For me, this lineup is a little bit lefty short, so 3 lefties, or 2 lefties, a switch, and 2 right-handed hitters. That's what I like to do. I like to have 2 lefties to come in to destroy righties, a switch hitter in case you want to bring in a pinch hitter, but you're not sure if they're going to keep that pitcher in or bring someone else in, but you want equal value. There's a lot going on. I have Ketel Marte in that spot because he's perfect for it, and I have my cap, but there's no cap. But you know what, actually, just for this, caps, they're part of it. They're a real player to use on your team. I'm going to put my cap there. Ketel Marte is that switch hitter spot, right? He can play all these positions, so he comes in the game. He's an upgrade defensively for a bunch of guys. Even for Babe Ruth, I like it. This is a great option. You can put him back at second base and put Jackie in left, defensive upgrade, stuff like that. Now, Soto, guaranteed. Great quirks. Crushes righties if you have him. He has everything you need. You want someone to come off the bench. Doesn't have to be a well-rounded player or like a pinch runner. Somebody who does something very well. That's what you need in Juan Soto. I love the card. Great quirks to help you in this situation. He's a go-to for me. Next up on this list, I believe I have Joe Mauer, but it's personal preference. I'm going to use the Big Papi in this instance. Does everything well. 111, 125 versus righties. 117 clutch. He's got everything you need late game. Now for the 2 righties, I'm going to go Clemente. If there's a lefty-lefty situation, Babe can still hit lefties, but if you want to make a play to kind of go with the handedness advantage and some defensive upgrade, Clemente comes in off the bench. Good. Honestly, the 90 power versus lefties has played for me very well. I'm very comfortable with him versus lefties. Hitting 431. He plays phenomenal defense. I'll have him in right. Coming in for Babe. Now, the last guy on the bench, a couple options here. I usually have Frank playing on the bench. I don't really start Frank, but if you want to go with pure destruction versus left-handed pitchers, you can pick anybody you want who's like 125s versus lefties, and you'll get great value. Like Goldschmidt's a good option. Machado has low contact, but Tim Anderson 125, 100. But somebody along the lines of even J-Rod 108, 114, the All-Star J-Rod. Piazza's a great option, and you get a backup catcher choice. You could do Carlos Santana, but a really solid option if you want to be totally on point. What we're doing is Nick Castellanos. 125s versus lefties. That's what you want, man. Just maxed out, crush it.
Al Kaline from this Field of Dreams Bosses packs that we just got in this program that's ending tomorrow if you're watching this video as it drops today. He also is 125 versus righties, and another sleeper pick that Chev has used here and there is Franmil Reyes, the 2021 finest flashback card we got from an event a few events ago. He's 111, 118, I believe, so it's a great contact to power ratio, and then also he's got one of those fast swings if that's something that affects you as a hitter. So other options to consider instead of Castellanos or Clemente if you want more power.
That's how I build a team. I want righty killers, someone who can come in against any pitcher and still get great value with the switch hitting ability and play all positions, and someone like these two who can crush. If you want to get real nitty gritty and not worry too much about defense, you just want strictly value on the pinch hitter side, you go right-handed bat. Biggio gives you an extra catcher spot. If you want value, go with him. He can play everywhere, but I already got my utility covered. I'm not going to really take out Napoli. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Another great option versus lefties. Wilson Contreras, 113, 125 versus lefties. Gary Carter, same deal, but a really, really solid option if I have to go find them right now. Where's homeboy at? Ooh, Bregman's a great option. 109, 120. I might actually choose him. But Nelson Cruz, 122, 125. That is somebody that gives you right what you want value-wise. Perfect. Another great option I slept on, the Jorge Posada, right? Switch hitter, crushes lefty, so he could be that option for you. He can hit against righties in a pinch with that great swing, and he's an additional backup catcher, so maybe that might be the option you want. Because if you need Napoli to come out the game for a pinch runner, if I had to pick, probably at this point what I'm rocking with, I would go with Biggio, right? Hits lefties well enough, get parallel levels up. He gets over 90 power, great contact versus lefties, runs well too, plays all these positions, including catcher, in case you want to have some flexibility. Now, when it comes to building a lineup, what is the most important thing for me for building a lineup? I want my number one hitter to be someone who's super well-rounded, not necessarily my best hitter, but someone I really want to get the most at-bats in the game. Now, who would that be for me? Right now, it's McCutchen. Jackie, close second. George Brett, even another second option. Then Works As. I like him in that spot. My cap in the spot right there. Even one of these. I might do this. So I want McCutchen and Works As. My cap works as intended to get the most ABs in the game. Kutch mostly because he's a newer card and he's really solid. But I think if I were to get really just crazy about it, I would put my cap first. I'm the most comfortable with him. He's a switch hitter with a custom swing, max stats. Want him to get the most at-bats in the game. That's what leadoff means to me. Kutch, George Brett, obviously the two collection guys. 4 spot. I guess I'll go Frank. At this point, though, Austin Riley might be a better option. A little bit of higher contacts. I'm going to go Austin Riley. I'll go back-to-back righties because you can. Austin Riley, Frank Thomas, then go Babe, then go Napoli, then go Jackie. A little bit low on lefties here. Personally, if I wanted to make a move, I could probably take out Frank Thomas for Babe and put Juan Soto in right. That's what I would do personally. But this is the overall best team you can have defensively and offensively. Soto at right field compared to Babe is a big downgrade. You know, the defense is higher, but he's significantly slower out there in right field with the 54 speed. It really plays like that. He's got a noodle arm. But this is how I operate with my team. This is how I build my lineup. If you like righties more or you don't care about lefty hitters, this is a lineup construction you can make. You can go more righty heavy. That's what this is right now. If you like more lefties, you can easily swap out Frank, put Babe to first, put Soto in right. There you go. Same deal. Team isn't sacrificing too much defense. You're still getting all that type of offense. That's pretty much it, guys. If you want me to build a budget team for you guys, I could do that. I could build a budget team, specifically make a video for that. But this is with the cards I have, what I think about when constructing my lineup, right? I don't want to sacrifice too much defense. I don't want it to be an outlier defensive liability. Don't want to see it during a game, but I also want a good amount of offense as well. This is it. I hope this video helps, man. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Peace.